What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here, back again. This time we have a review of the 1922 film Influencer.
1922 film Influence.
Starring Cassandra No and directed by Curtis David Harder. This is available on Shudder, despite the fact that I have a small mountain of movies from Dollar Tree and eBay to watch and review. I went ahead and watched something pretty much on a whim based on the poster on Shudder. And I was kind of intrigued by the title, considering that I counterintuitively enjoyed the film Sissy so much, which is about a social media influencer. That was an Australian film from a year or two ago that I thought was excellent and is still not being talked about enough. And despite the fact that I don't really get into this lifestyle and some of the characters drove me absolutely nuts, that was an excellent film. That was definitely like a horror film with a pretty high body count. This one, not as much. This one is more like a mystery thriller along the lines of The Talented Mr. Ripley, but it's set in the influencer age, so it incorporates a lot of that, the sort of the mentality, the influencer culture of always trying to be beautiful and trying to present yourself in a certain way, whether or not that is beneficial for one's mental health or not. And as you can see, this is a beautiful film to look at. It is set in Thailand. It's a great choice for the setting because you have that contrast of like beauty all around you, and yet you're presenting it to other people, but there's the pressure of constantly making another post. So it kind of taps into that, the idea that this in some ways may not be the healthiest thing for younger people to be involved with. And basically it follows a young influencer who is in Thailand. Now she's kind of broken up with her boyfriend, who's also kind of her manager and who kind of got her started into influencing on like Instagram or social media. And an older guy comes up to her in a bar and starts to chit chat, and she's kind of not really into it, and she is sort of rescued by this enigmatic woman named CW, who's played by Cassandra No, who's kind of the antagonist in the film, and she's really a standout. Very interesting person in real life. She's an actress, entrepreneur, and dancer, and she's given TED Talks about living with a birthmark, as you can see there, and that does come up in the plot. When someone's trying to describe her, what did she look like? It would be ridiculous for them not to say that she has a rather large birthmark on her face. But, apparently the actress is very comfortable with it and has, given TED Talks about it and interviews and so forth. She's very good in the film. And also I thought it was funny, on YouTube, her YouTube channel had 999 subscribers, so of course I had to subscribe to try to be the 1,000th one. Maybe I'm being caught up in the influencer culture. I don't know. At any rate, the film starts out with these two forming sort of an impromptu friendship, and the viewer is a little bit suspicious of CW, who is really actually not into the influencer culture at all. She doesn't like to get her picture taken. She actually carries an old school camera around. She doesn't post things on social media. But we learn that she is very savvy regarding the technology. This film deals a little bit with catfishing, a little bit with deep fakes, where people are using programs to make posts and then put someone else's face on top of the posts and make it appear that they're saying, and cloning their voice. These are all things that are going on now. People are being scammed by deep fakes and cloned voices, and it's kind of scary. So this film is like very up to date. As I said, it's like The Talented Mr. Ripley, but if Mr. Ripley had additional skills that were commensurate with modern times. So basically, we're following these two, and for about a half hour or so, and there's one particular scene where CW played by Cassandra No, gives this little sort of impromptu speech where she's it gets pretty creepy, and then at the end she's like, "Oh, just kidding," and they're laughing, but it's really good, and you know that some bad things are afoot. And then the film does like a little bait and switch about 25 minutes to half an hour in, and you're going to be very like surprised. You're going to be like, what's going on here? It does something that I don't know that I've seen done before in a film. And if you see the film and you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts about it. It surprised me at first, but I'm on board with it now that I've seen the whole film. So then, after that sort of first act, then we're introduced to yet another influencer who CW is kind of like stalking. And this one's a little bit harder to sidle up to, but eventually she does. So they start developing a friendship, or a relationship at least. But then the original girl's boyfriend shows up, ex-boyfriend. He's wondering where she is. And so this CW now has to start acting fast. She's making up fake social media posts to cover. And I'm not going to go too much more into the plot. Suffice to say, she really has to react to the boyfriend sort of investigating her. And it's pretty interesting the way she's able to do it. I mean, she's in the same room with them sometimes, you know, and she's making fake posts on someone else's account to cover her tracks, and they don't know it. And you know, I really overall enjoyed the film. Like I said, it really touches on some modern problems that we're having with social media, and did it pretty smartly. Very clever film, as you can imagine. Beautiful to look at from start to finish. Lots of beautiful islands. And once again, Cassandra No is something of a standout in this film. Definitely highly recommend it. Check it out. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen it and what you thought of it. And that is all for today. Until next time. Later.